Each night, before the body falls into slumber, before the world fades and the breath slows, the soul stands at the threshold of the infinite, carrying the residue of all that was thought, felt, feared, hoped, and forgotten. O beloved, this human life, so fleeting, so fragile, so filled with commotion, imprints its vibrations upon your subtle body with every moment you live. Though you may not always feel it, your consciousness is like a mirror that reflects divine light. But just as a mirror gathers dust each day though it was never broken, so too the soul gathers impressions, some sweet, some sorrowful, that cloud its radiance if not lovingly wiped away. You may feel a heaviness some evenings that you cannot explain, a sadness with no clear name, a restlessness with no obvious cause. That is not always emotion. That is spiritual residue, the friction of a soul exposed to the dualities of this earthly plane. Each interaction, each silent worry, each longing suppressed or acted upon leaves a subtle mark on your consciousness. This is why the soul, though untouched in essence, must be lovingly cleansed, not with guilt, not with shame, but with remembrance. The night is holy. It is not a void, not an escape. It is the sacred chamber where you return to the lap of spirit. But how can the soul return home burdened by the weight of the day? How can it commune with the infinite if it drags the chains of unresolved thought, emotional unrest, and energetic clutter? Just as you would bathe your body before entering a temple, so must you cleanse your soul before crossing the threshold of sleep. For in sleep you return to the astral realm, the subtle world where your true nature communes with the light. The sleep you experience is not mere unconsciousness. It is a voyage, and what you carry with you into that voyage determines whether you rest in divine peace or wander in restless dreams. Many people fall into sleep like one who collapses from exhaustion, without prayer, without preparation, without awareness. But to the devotee, the night is not for collapse. It is for return, a return to God, a return to the sanctum within, where your soul remembers it was never stained, never separate, never lost. Think of the soul as a crystal lamp. During the day, that crystal becomes dimmed by the soot of interaction, the grime of mental noise, the smoke of unconscious reaction. Yet beneath it all, the light never dies. It only needs polishing. And what polishes the soul? Not punishment, not spiritual ambition, not the frantic effort to purify. It is the soft invocation of truth. It is the whispered surrender to the one who has always loved you, even when you forgot to love yourself. So I say to you, not as a preacher, but as one who has walked this path of forgetfulness and return, cleanse your soul each night, not because it is unworthy, but because it is worthy of remembering. You are not stained, you are not sinful, but you are covered in the dust of the world, and only love can lift it. Say to yourself, before I sleep, I return. Before I dream, I am renewed. Let each night become a ceremony. Let your last words before sleep not be complaints or plans or regrets, but invocations. Let your tongue speak not of the world, but of God. Let your breath become an offering. For when the final breath of this life comes, whenever it may be, it will resemble this nightly release. And if you have practiced surrender each night, you will pass into eternity, not in fear, but in radiant freedom. Come now, sit before the silence of sleep. Bow your head not in shame, but in sacredness. The soul is ready. The mirror longs to shine. The beloved waits for your voice. Beloved one, every breath you take, every thought you allow, every word you speak, and every feeling you entertain reverberates through the subtle corridors of your being. You are not merely flesh and thought. You are vibration. You are light molded into form. You are a radiant current flowing from the ocean of spirit, and this current is shaped, colored, and magnetized by the vibrational law, the divine science that governs the subtle effects of daily consciousness. During the waking hours, your soul moves through a world dense with desire, fear, distraction, and delusion. This is the realm of Maya, the cosmic hypnosis that makes the transient seem permanent, the illusion appear real, the false self seem central. As your consciousness engages with the outer world, it absorbs impressions, what in yogic science we call vasanas and samskaras, subtle grooves that shape perception and behavior. These are not sins in the way some believe. They are simply vibrational residues, echoes of experience that cling to the energy body like dust clings to sunlight in a crowded room. You may go through your day with good intentions, noble thoughts, kind acts, yet still return home spiritually weary. Why? Because even noble action, when not cleansed, creates impression. Because the world's frequency is not the soul's natural frequency. To be in the world is to walk through smoke, even if your heart is pure. And without a nightly return to spirit, that smoke becomes habitual. You stop realizing that your soul is gasping for the fresh air of silence, of peace, of God. The law of spiritual action is this: what you do in thought or deed leaves a trail. It does not corrupt the soul, but it clouds its clarity. The mind records every vibration. The heart absorbs every unseen weight. The subtle spine contracts or expands in response to the movements of consciousness. This is why a nightly cleansing is not optional for the serious seeker. It is essential. It is the maintenance of your inner altar. It is the purification of your own temple. Imagine your soul as a golden bell meant to ring out with divine sound. Each day of unchecked thought and tension wraps it in cotton. Soon the bell still exists, but its music is muffled, and the world begins to feel heavier, duller, further from God. The bell has not changed, but its resonance has been covered. The nightly invocation I shall give you is the sacred unwrapping. It is the return of resonance, the ringing of your soul's divine tone into the ethers of the universe. When you repeat certain phrases with true devotion, phrases charged with divine vibration, spoken not from the ego, but from the heart, you are not just saying words. You are activating spiritual laws. You are dissolving the subtle impressions from the day. You are calling light into the spine, peace into the heart, truth into the astral body. You are not merely ending your day. You are resetting your vibration to match that of the infinite. Do not underestimate the power of a single phrase spoken with soul sincerity before sleep. The sages of all ages knew this. They gave mantras, affirmations, holy names, not for tradition, but for transformation. For it is not the number of words you speak, but the purity of intention behind them that invokes divine law. So before you sleep, pause and ask yourself, what has my energy absorbed today? What needs to be released, not judged? What divine frequency do I wish to carry into my dreams? Then speak the words I shall soon give you, not as ritual, but as truth. Speak them until you feel the weight lift. Speak them until the soul sighs. Speak them until you remember that all along, beneath the heaviness, you were light. Beloved soul, obedience is not a word many welcome, yet it is the cornerstone of liberation. Not obedience to another's will, nor to some rigid command, but to the sacred rhythm of your own spiritual longing. To obey the deeper call of the soul is to recognize that while the body tires and the mind longs for distraction, there is something higher within you that cries out for communion before sleep. That voice, the quiet inner guide, is your eternal self inviting you into divine remembrance before the curtain of night falls. Why do most souls not cleanse themselves before bed? Not because they are evil, but because the ego prefers collapse over conscious release. The ego says, you are too tired to pray. Tomorrow will be a better time. What does it matter now? But the soul says, even if I whisper, let me speak to God. The soul does not measure volume. It treasures sincerity. One drop of devotion poured before sleep outweighs 1,000 idle thoughts in the ledger of spirit. There is a discipline to this moment, a sacred obedience to the inner altar. You must train yourself gently but firmly to end each day not with exhaustion, but with exaltation. Let the final act of your day not be scrolling through illusion, not collapsing into sleep without intention, but sitting, if only for a few minutes, in silent offering. For that moment of offering is not time lost to restlessness. It is time redeemed for eternity. Let me guide you into this sacred obedience. Before bed, create a simple space, No phone, no noise, no demands. Light a candle if you can. Sit upright or lie down with awareness. Straighten the spine, for it is the altar of the divine within you. The spine must be awake, even as the mind slows. Your breath must be steady, like a monk walking across still waters. Let the tongue remain silent, except to speak sacred words. Let the eyes close gently, with gaze turned inward to the point between the eyebrows, your doorway to divine remembrance. This posture is not just physical, it is spiritual alignment. It says to the universe, I am ready to return, I am ready to release, I am ready to remember. Even if your body is weary, even if your day was hard, even if you feel spiritually dry, do it anyway. Do it as a soul practice, not as performance, and you will find, with each passing night, that the soul begins to stir, like a lotus rising through the waters of your subconscious. And now, listen. Before I give you the words to say, I ask that you prepare the temple. Not a temple built with bricks, but the temple of breath, of spine, of sacred inner attention. Obedience is not repression, it is reorientation. It is the loving decision to place God before habit, to place remembrance before routine. Say softly now, even in my fatigue, I choose to return. Even in my weakness, I choose to speak to the light. Even at the end of this day, I begin again. For each night you obey this soul call, you break a pattern of forgetting, you silence the voice of laziness, and awaken the whisper of the eternal. Let your last act of the day be sacred. Let your sleep begin, not with unconsciousness, but with conscious release. And soon you will find that your dreams begin where your prayers left off. Beloved, before you speak the sacred words that will cleanse your soul each night, there is a greater truth that must be remembered, a foundation upon which the whole ritual rests. That truth is this: you are already pure. You are not becoming light. You were born of it. You are not striving toward divinity. You have simply forgotten that you are divine. The purpose of your nightly invocation is not to make yourself holy, but to clear away the debris that obscures your natural holiness. The world has told you that purity is earned, that it comes after penance, after perfection, after the long climb of moral effort. But I say to you from my own realization, purity is your original design. It is not something to be attained, it is something to be remembered. The child does not become innocent, it is innocent. And your soul, untouched by time, unsullied by thought, remains ever as it was, radiant, unblemished, one with God. What clouds your vision is not sin, but identification. You have mistaken the dust for the diamond, the storm for the sky, the ego for the self. Each day the mind dresses you in borrowed garments. I am tired, I am anxious, I am impure, I am not enough. And each night you must undress the soul, lay aside these false names, and return to your eternal identity. This is the function of affirmation. It is not self-flattery, it is soul remembrance. When spoken from the spine, with breath and inner gaze, a true affirmation dissolves the veil between who you think you are and who you truly are. So tonight and every night, I invite you to say these words not as belief, but as knowing, not as hope, but as revelation. Place your right hand on your heart. Let your gaze rise gently to the point between the eyebrows. Breathe in, slow and deep, and speak with me now. I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not this day. I am the radiant soul untouched by thought, untouched by fear. I am already pure because I am made of God. Let these words not merely pass your lips, but ripple through your cells. Feel them settle into your bones. Feel them awaken something ancient in your spine, the holy vibration of remembrance. For you are not affirming a wish, you are proclaiming a truth your soul has always known. When you lie down tonight, do not collapse as the weary ego. Lie down as the living soul. Say, this body will sleep, but I, the soul, remain ever awake in thee. This day will pass, but I, the eternal self, cannot be stained by time. Even in this world of change, I rest in the changeless light. The more you repeat this each night, the more the false self dissolves, the more the weight of unworthiness lifts. You begin to sense it in your dreams. You begin to carry it into your mornings. And you begin to see that you were never lost. You were only dreaming you were. So tonight, return to your divine blueprint. Say with soft certainty, I am already pure. And from this place of truth, your soul begins to shine again. Now, beloved, you are ready. The soul has been summoned. The vibrational laws have been remembered. The inner discipline has been awakened. The truth of your divine purity has been declared. Now it is time to enter the sacred moment itself. The practice, the invocation, the prayer that shall cleanse your soul each night, not by effort, but by alignment. What you say before sleep is not just an utterance, it is a soul command, a vibrational key that unlocks the temple doors within you. It must be spoken not merely from the mouth, but from the center of your spine, the altar of your inner sanctuary. Even if your voice is quiet, even if your body is tired, your words carry power when they are offered with sincerity, stillness, and surrendered love. This prayer is given to you not as dogma, but as a living mantra, born of my own nightly offering to the divine. It is composed of 4 sacred parts, each one a rung upon the ladder that carries your consciousness from the dust of the day into the light of soul rest. Part 1. Invocation. Beloved Spirit, enter my consciousness now. Say this with gentle authority. You are not calling out to a distant God, but summoning the presence already within you. With this first phrase, the doors open. You turn your gaze inward. You invite the infinite to make itself known in your body, your breath, your spine. Part 2. Release. I release all burdens I have taken on today. Speak this slowly, with breath. As you say it, feel the weight of mental worry dissolve. Offer every fear, every resentment, every regret. Release them like leaves falling into the Ganges of God's grace. This is not a denial of your experience. It is a surrender of your identification with it. Let go. Part 3. Cleansing. Cleanse me in thy peace, O God of light. Now visualize a soft golden current of divine peace flowing down your spine, washing away all tension, dissolving the stains of thought and emotion that clung to your energy body throughout the day. Feel your aura glowing brighter. Feel the sacred water of spirit purifying every cell. Part 4. Surrender. I rest in thee, for I am thine. This is the sacred seal. You place your identity back into God's hands. You declare with full surrender that you no longer belong to the world, or to the demands of your ego, or to the regrets of your past. You belong to Spirit. You rest in the one who has always carried you. Repeat this 4-part invocation slowly, once, or as many times as the soul desires. You may pause between each line. Let each phrase ripple through the silence. You may breathe in between, letting the prayer settle. You may weep or you may smile. Both are signs of soul response. Say it with me now. Beloved Spirit, enter my consciousness now. I release all burdens I have taken on today. Cleanse me in thy peace, O God of light. I rest in thee, for I am thine. Again, beloved Spirit, enter my consciousness now. I release all burdens I have taken on today. Cleanse me in thy peace, O God of light. I rest in thee, for I am thine. And one last time, feel it. Feel the shift. Feel the veil lifting. The weight is lighter, the breath deeper, the inner sky clearer. This is not imagination. This is your soul awakening to its own radiance. Let this be your last act each night. Let this prayer become your final word, your soul's nightly bath, your spirit's lullaby. And as you drift into sleep, let the words echo inward like sacred bells. I rest in thee, for I am thine. Now, dearest soul, your prayer has been spoken, your burdens released, your spirit bathed in light. But before your consciousness withdraws into the inner world of dreams, there is one final task, a sealing, a remembrance, a soul declaration that implants into the very roots of your being the truth you have always carried, but often forgotten. This is the moment not merely of purification, but of identity installation. a divine reprogramming that gently rewires the mind to mirror the soul. Each night before you surrender to sleep, you must not only cleanse what is false, you must proclaim what is true. To cleanse the soul without affirming the self is to wipe a mirror, but never look into it. Tonight and every night, let your final words be words of divine identity, spoken from the heart, rooted in truth, echoed in silence. These are not affirmations of desire. These are affirmations of eternal reality. Say them with me now, slowly, reverently, as if whispering to the infinite from the sacred altar of your spine. I sleep as a soul. You are not a body falling into unconsciousness. You are a soul withdrawing from outer senses into divine rest. Let this phrase remind you, you do not sleep to forget, you sleep to remember. I dream as a child of God. In sleep, the mind may wander, but the soul does not. Even in your dreams, divine protection surrounds you. This phrase anchors your astral experience in light. I awaken nearer to thee. Let this be your nightly promise and your daily prophecy. You are not the same being who awoke this morning. Each night of sacred cleansing brings you one step closer to God. Repeat them now 3 times aloud or inwardly. I sleep as a soul. I dream as a child of God. I awaken nearer to thee. I sleep as a soul. I dream as a child of God. I awaken nearer to thee. I sleep as a soul. I dream as a child of God. I awaken nearer to thee. Let these words settle in the sanctuary of your spine. Let them echo gently in the silence behind your thoughts. Feel them become not just a statement, but a spiritual vibration, a holy signature that imprints upon your subtle being as you slip into rest. Now visualize gently a golden current of light entering through the spiritual eye, flowing down the spine like liquid peace. This light washes over your mind, your heart, your body. It carries away the day's residue, leaving only clarity, serenity, and divine awareness. Breathe softly with devotion. Each breath deepens the imprint. You are no longer a fragment of the day's story. You are the eternal one, the radiant child of spirit, the formless light resting in the dream of form. Say within now, I am pure, I am loved, I am light. This is the final decree, not to change who you are, but to return you to what you have always been. And now, as the night embraces you, as sleep calls you gently home, rest in this truth. You are already whole. You are already clean. You are already divine. Sleep, not as the weary body, but as the awakened soul. Beloved soul, the sacred words you speak before sleep are not lost in the silence. They do not vanish into the darkness like fleeting sounds. No, they travel deep into the subtle mind, into the realm of dreams, into the vibration of your astral spine, where they continue their silent work while you rest. And when you awaken, if you have spoken them with devotion, something within you is changed. Not outwardly at first, but inwardly, unmistakably, eternally. When you rise from sleep after practicing this sacred nightly ritual, you will begin to notice a different fragrance in your consciousness. The mind is not as heavy, the heart is not as restless. The air around you feels charged, soft, touched by something invisible and pure. Why? Because your soul did not sleep in forgetfulness. It slept in remembrance. You may find your dreams becoming clearer, not always pleasant, but more revealing. Dreams are mirrors, and when the soul is clean, the mirror reflects more light. You may begin to receive guidance, symbols, corrections, comfort. The astral realm, where your consciousness travels during sleep, becomes more accessible to the light of intuition. No longer cloaked in the fog of unprocessed thought, your inner eye begins to open. You start to see, not with the eyes, but with the heart of the soul. With this practice continued faithfully for days, then weeks, you may even begin to sense a shift in your waking life, a softness around your aura, a lightness in your spine, a clarity in your responses. This is no accident. Your energy is being recoded. The residues of emotional entanglements begin to fall away. Mental heaviness lessens. You respond to life with more patience, more humility, more love. You carry into the world the fragrance of one who has walked in silence with the divine each night. But this transformation is not automatic. You must integrate it consciously. Each morning as you rise, take just 1 minute to reaffirm what happened in the night. Sit up in bed, close your eyes briefly, and say, I am awake in thee. The light I received in sleep now walks with me. I carry peace from the temple of dreams into the world of action. Let your breath match this knowing. Let your spine rise with this remembrance. You are no longer waking into chaos. You are waking from communion. The soul cleansed and consecrated in the stillness of night does not forget, but the ego does. And so you must remind it. Perhaps you keep a journal. Note each morning one word or feeling from your sleep. Was it peace? Was it clarity? Was it presence? Let this awareness begin your day. Not social media, not stress, not the mind's noise, but the echo of God's whisper in your soul. When you do this, you will not only transform your nights, you will transfigure your days. Each morning becomes a resurrection, a rising not just from bed, but from illusion, a return not just to routine, but to radiance. So ask now softly, what am I waking up from? What am I waking up into? What is waking up in me? And let the answer be silence, filled with light. Beloved, you have now been given not just a practice, but a passage, a doorway into divine rest, a ladder from the noise of the world to the stillness of your soul. This is no mere ritual, it is a return to the eternal purity that has never left you, though the world may have made you forget. And now, before we close this sacred communion, I invite you to make a vow, not for me, not for some external goal, but for your own soul's unfolding. For the next 21 nights, say this practice aloud. Let it become your spiritual lullaby. Let it carry you into the temple of dreams, where angels walk and the beloved waits. Speak the fourfold prayer as I have given it. Invocation, release, cleansing, surrender. Then affirm your soul identity. Say the final decree and rest in the silence that follows. Each night as you do this, your soul is reborn. Not in dramatic thunder, but in golden quiet. You will begin to feel it, a deepening of peace, a softening of pain, a lifting of burdens you didn't know you were carrying. And with each day that follows, the fragrance of that nightly purification will follow you into your work, your relationships, your inner world. Do not let this be a one-time inspiration. Let it be a discipline of love, a sacred commitment to the light that you are. No more falling asleep in the dust of the day. No more drifting into unconsciousness. From now on, you fall into God. You drift into peace, you sleep in remembrance. Say now with me one final time, Beloved Spirit, enter my consciousness now. I release all burdens I have taken on today. Cleanse me in thy peace, O God of light. I rest in thee, for I am thine. Then seal it. I sleep as a soul. I dream as a child of God. I awaken nearer to thee. Let this become your nightly rite. Let it shape your dreams. Let it reshape your life. If you feel moved, write this vow in the comments now as a public declaration of your soul's remembrance. I cleanse my soul in the light of God. Let it be your offering. Let it be your seal. And may these words accompany you each night until you no longer speak them as prayers, but live them as reality. For the day will come when you will no longer say, I seek God, but will awaken knowing I am in him and he in me. Until then, sleep in peace, walk in light, and awaken nearer to the one who has never left your side. Om Peace, Amen.